Question 2. The bar chart shows information about the number of silver medals won by each of 5 countries at the 2008 Olympic Games. Okay. 5 countries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're missing. So we've got the number of silver medals up here, okay, and these are all the different countries. So we can say, for instance, that China here, I've got just over 20, so about 21 medals, silver medals. Okay. United States here, I've got about, this is 30, this is 35, isn't it? So that would be about 37, 38 silver medals and so on. Okay. So the first question is, which 2 of the countries won an equal number of silver medals? So in other words, which 2 of these bars are the same height? I think you can see that these 2 are the same height. So we're talking about China and Russia. Okay. How many silver medals did the USA win? We'd already looked at that, hadn't we? We decided it was about 38. So I'll put that in there, 38. Great Britain won 13 silver medals. Draw a bar on the bar chart to show this information. Oh, at last, we've been recognised. 13 silver medals. 13 is going to be, well, this is 10, and this is 15. So you're going to be looking about there. Okay, but you don't have to be perfect, you know, with this. It's, you know, the scale on here isn't very accurate, so you just do your best there. But it still needs to be about right. And I'm going to shade that in. Okay. Now I'm using red pen here. Please don't do that in your exam. Use black because that's what they've told you to do. Great Britain won 13 silver medals. Draw a bar on the bar chart to show this information. We've done that one. Done that. Find the ratio of the number of silver medals won by Germany to the number of silver medals won by Australia. Give your ratio in its simplest form. I'm going to read that one again. Find the ratio of the number of silver medals won by Germany to the number of silver medals won by Australia. Okay, so we're talking about a ratio. So we're looking at this sort of thing, aren't we? Okay, we're going to have the number of silver medals won by Germany on this side because Germany is mentioned first in this sentence. Okay, so this is going to be Germany on this side. And on this side, we're going to have the number of silver medals won by Australia. So let's just have a look. Germany is 10 medals, and Australia is 15 medals. So we've got 10 and 15. Okay, but we don't write that there because they've said this, haven't they? Give your ratio in its simplest form. In its simplest form. So that means just like we can cancel fractions down, we can cancel ratios down, can't we? Right, so what goes into both 10 and 15? What's the biggest number, preferably, that goes into 10 and 15? Let's see, well, 5 does, doesn't it? 5 does. So I'm going to divide both of these by 5. I'm going to divide that one by 5. And we end up with, well, 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay. And 15 divided by 5 is 3, so we're looking at 2 to 3. And that's the ratio we're looking for. Well done. Okay, so question 3. Write down the mathematical name of each of these 3D shapes. Okay, well, you've just got to learn these, really. You should know that this is a pyramid, but what kind of pyramid? There's 2 that you need to know. This is a square-based pyramid, because the base of the pyramid is a square. So we don't just write pyramid, but square-based pyramid. I know they haven't put much room in here, but let's be accurate about this square-based pyramid. Okay, this is a cylinder. Now you could say, of course, this is a circular prism because it is. It's a circular prism. The cross section doesn't change all the way through, and but the proper mathematical name is a cylinder. If you put circular prism down, you will get it right. This is a sphere. It's not a ball or a globe, it's a sphere. That's the proper mathematical name for it. How many faces has shape I? That's this one then. How many faces does it have? Flat faces we're talking about here. Well, the base is obviously one face, okay, and then these triangles, how many of those are there? Well, there must be 1, 2, so 1 round the back, 1 round the side, that's 4 of those. plus the base, that's 5. 5 faces. How many edges does the shape 1 have? Well, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 around the base, and then it's got another 1, 2, 3, and the 1 around the back. 4. So that's 4 plus another 4 is 8. Here is a solid prism made from centimetre cubes. Find the volume of the solid prism. Give the units of your answer. A solid prism made from centimetre cubes. Well, this is the clue, isn't it? They are centimetre cubes. Here we go. So each of these is 1 centimetre cubed. So all we have to do really is count them. Count them. Okay, so we've got on this layer here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 2 layers going backwards, so that's 14 altogether. So I make that 14, and because they're centimetre cubes, the units must be centimetre cubes. So 14 centimetres cubed. Right. So question number 4 then, sequence problem. Sequence problem. Here are the first 5 terms of a number sequence: 1, 4, 16, 64, 256. So the first thing we've got to do is work out what's happening here. Okay. Maybe the first thing to check is if we're adding something up on each time. So if we do that, we're adding 3 there, aren't we? This time, however, we're adding. What do we have to add to 4 to get to 16? Well, it's 12. So it's not the same. We're not adding the same each time, so that can't be right. Okay. So next, let's look at multiplying. Okay. What do I have to multiply 1 by to get to 4? Well, I multiply by 4. Okay. Let's try doing the same. See what happens. 4 times 4 is 16. That's good. Just check once more. 16 times 4. Well, 4 10s are 40. 6 4s are 24. If you add those together, we get 64. So yes, but you obviously use your calculator. You just whip through. Yeah, we found out what it is. We're multiplying by 4 each time, aren't we? So let's look at part B. Actually, it says explain how you worked out your answer. Well, let's just stick that down here because that's the answer to this one, isn't it? So we multiply by 4 each time. Okay. That'll do, something like that. Must make sense. But part A was work out the next 2 terms of the sequence. Okay, so we know that we're multiplying by 4 each time. So that means that we're going to have to multiply by 4 again to get this one. And then we're going to have to multiply by 4 yet again. And 256 multiplied by 4. If you use your calculator for that one, that's 1024. Okay, and if I multiply that one by 4, I'm going to get 4096. 4096. So the answers here are 1024 and 4096. Okay, so we found out that we're multiplying by 4 each time, which gave us this answer, and then we just carried that on and got the next 2 answers. Then it says, for part C, the 5th term, 256, of the sequence ends with the number 6. Yes, it does here. What number does the 29th term of the sequence end with? Okay, now a lot of people here would just keep counting up until they got to the 29th term. And with luck, you could do it like that way, and with luck, they wouldn't make a mistake, and they'd find out what the 29th term was, and then they'd find out what it ended with, what number it ended with. Okay, that seems to be a logical way of doing this. There is an easier way, though, is that if we look at the pattern, we've got 1, 4, 16, 64, 256. What's happening here? We've got 1, and then the next one ends in 4, okay, and the next one ends in 6, and then this one ends in 4, and then this one ends in 6, this one ends in 4, this one ends in 6. So you can see here that apart from this one, the first one, yes, all the even terms, that's the second term here, this is the second term here, and this is the fourth term, and this is the sixth term, isn't it? Okay, all the even terms, the second, the fourth, and the sixth term, end in 4. 4 and 4 and 4. Right, and if you look at this is the third term, this one's the fifth term, and this one's the seventh term. And if you look at all these odd terms, they all end in 6, 6, 6. Now, if you look at the 29th term, that's an odd term, isn't it? So that must mean that just like these, they must end in 6. Okay. We'll do question 5 on the next video.